Hi students, today I will be teaching about how to build a storyline. I know we've been working a lot on our writing portion leading up to this point. We've talked about building characters and plots, but today we're going to be adding in the element of a setting in a story. So raise your hand if you know what a setting of a story is. Yes, what do you think a setting of a story is? Perfect. Yes, a setting of a story is the place of where the story is actually located. So when we think about, let's say, a story that most everyone knows, let's say Red Riding Hood. If you think about the story of Red Riding Hood, where is the setting of the Red Riding Hood story? There's multiple settings, but one that comes to my mind first is the forest. Red Riding Hood sets foot in the forest to be able to go visit her granny, and that is the setting of the story in the first place. So the setting is very important in a story. It teaches us a lot about, where the characters are, what they might be doing, what they might be, adding into their lives at that time, what the weather might be like, if they're outside, if that has any effect on the story and the storyline and the characters. Now, why is a setting important in a story? I think it's important to remember that everything, as we write, as we create a storyline, everything comes together to create the story. So like we talked about the plot, we talked about characters. Now talking about a setting, it's all going to come together to create a story. So I have this quick little demonstration. It's an image. So I don't know if you can see that, but it says opening, build up, dilemma, resolution, and climb, and closing. So this is kind of the plot mountain, I like to call it, or the story mountain. And you take your characters and you put them at the beginning of the story mountain, and it says opening, build up, dilemma, resolution, and closing. And all of this leads into a story. And obviously the setting is very important to be able to achieve that whole mountain. So now I have a quick video. It's called What is a Setting? And it will just describe a little further what
Story
a setting
elements
is.
for kids. What is a setting? Learning Academy for Kids. Story elements are building parts of a fiction story. The setting is an important story element. Can you figure out the definition of setting from the following example? The setting might be a hot sunny day in the park during the summertime, or it could be a cold snowy day in December, or a rainy day at the camp. So what do you think the definition of setting is? Setting is the time and place of a story. It often answers the question of when and where a story takes place. The time of the story may be in the past or in the future, the daytime or at night, in the summer or winter. A story may take place in a school, in the park, in the city, or desert. There are a variety of places. We can also use adjectives for describing words to tell about the setting, like if it's sunny, bright, dark, cold, rainy, spooky, busy, gigantic, amazing, and quiet. You can determine the setting of the story by looking at the illustrations or finding information in the text. So let's try. The children are camping by the river. So the setting is a warm summer day by the river in the woods. The children are playing at the park on a warm sunny day. So the setting is warm sunny day at the park. So remember, setting is the time and place a story takes place. So this is one of the story
Perfect.
elements. Thanks.
I love that video described that it also meant the time of the story. So if we have, let's say, a story that takes place in 1980 in, let's say, Wisconsin, it's cool that the setting tells us both the time and the place, not only the place. I kind of forgot about that. I just wanted to briefly show that video to kind of describe and show visually what a setting of a story is. Now, I want you all to break up into groups, and you're going to take the story that you've already created. Your characters, take the plot that you've already created, and you might already have a setting that has kind of been put in your story without you knowing. And you can go along with that setting and really dig deep into what the setting is. What does it look like? What does the setting feel like? What time is the setting? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it really hot? Is it windy? Are you indoors? Are you outdoors? Are you with people? Is it crowded? Are you alone? And what do your characters experience when they are in their setting? I want you to be able to write me a half-page story involving a very descriptive setting. And remember that the video reminded us that we can use adjectives to describe this setting. So just like I said, you need to describe if it's cold, if it's warm, if it has anything that you can describe, use those words. I'm going to write a few adjectives up on the board. You can select as many as you want to describe what a setting is and what your setting is in this particular story. I hope you have a great time with your classmates. The voice level should be about at a 2. We should be quieter, keeping things collaborative, inclusive, and creative with our friends. I'm going to turn the time over to you all, and I hope you enjoy creating your setting in your story.